Good evening, everyone. I am Janvi Rajesh Pawar from Planotech Media House. Welcome you all on this episode of Unstoppable CEOs. Our show is about the most prominent CEO from different sectors. Our CEO share their experience, which made them effective and efficient as an entrepreneur or business owner, and speak on several business related objectives and experience their personal stories of success along with inspiring and insightful business related objects. Today, we are with Gaurav Gupta, who is the CEO and global HR, life and business transformation expert, NLP coach, TEDx speaker, author, CXO mentor, and board member. I welcome you, sir, over here.
Thank you so much, Janvi. It's a pleasure being here.
Okay. Without wasting much of our time, let's start with our first question for you. What is the business your company is in?
Well, Janvi, my company's name is Zipnotech, and we are into the services of human empowerment. We offer various kind of services, online and offline. Offline, definitely not these days, where we empower humans by upskilling them, by working on their education, their competency enhancement. So anything to do with attitude, knowledge, and skills, which are the basic requirements for people, we help people build their attitude, knowledge, and skills through various programs.
That's something new I heard. Okay, moving ahead. How do you market your business and which tactics made you this successful?
Marketing is not always a single thing or a single tactic. In fact, if you read about marketing today, there are 14 different ways of marketing. So my advice normally to all business owners is that if you want to be really successful in your businesses, you should learn and invest your time in learning marketing. There are 14 different types of marketing, but the things which have been most effective for us today have been the digital marketing route and also the word of mouth marketing. Because my services or the company's services are more to do with education and human empowerment. And only when you show results to people do they actually go and through word of mouth sell your products and services. So word of mouth and digital marketing are the things which have been really helpful for us in our business.
Do you believe there is some kind of secret formula that is making a successful entrepreneur or a businessman, etc.?
See, there are a lot of things which need to be balanced because running a business successfully is not just a matter of one formula. Because a business, just like a wheel of life, business also has a wheel which has different aspects. It's sales and marketing, product innovation, cost, it's time to market. It's a lot of other things. So complete cycle, you cannot say just one formula. But yes, I would say for the for my viewers here today, I will recommend. I learned this concept from Dr. Ivan Misner. He mentioned he took his business from garage to global, and he shared this, which I also follow in my business. As an entrepreneur, there are things or there are fields or spheres within your business which are your fire, which means these are the areas you're passionate about, and nobody can do these areas better than you do. And there are also areas because of your nature of business you get involved into those areas on a day-to-day basis. We call them the wax. So to give you an example, if I am a trainer and a coach, my fire is actual delivery of programs, whereas my wax is the day-to-day operations bit, or the things like calling my clients and other small things. So as an entrepreneur, if you want to be successful, you need to identify what is that area of fire which you have, which is your passion, which you are doing most excellently, and have a strategy to spend 80% of your time in that area and delegate your wax, because your wax could be somebody else's fire. So if you can strike that balance, you will be very successful as an entrepreneur.
Okay. Can you give an example which in this terms of facts and fire for others?
Yeah, sure, absolutely. So if as a business owner, your strength is developing your business or business development or marketing, then you need to focus on that. And if operations or cost or day-to-day nitty-gritties of the business is something which you do not enjoy, but you are kind of dragged into it, it will waste a lot of your time. So delegate that operations bit, and you should yourself focus on marketing or business development.
What is the most satisfying moment in your business? that you feel, yeah, this provided me the most satisfaction for my life?
There are a lot of things which are satisfying in a business. Sometimes it is a particular project which you really worked hard for and you are able to deliver it successfully. Sometimes it is new innovation or a new product in the market. But for me, the most satisfying moment has been when I delivered a project. This was a nationwide sales training project which we did for Airtel a few years ago. And here we trained the entire sales force in India. And we got a real good feedback out of that. The customer was happy, their sales were increasing, and it was a successfully delivered project. So I would say that was one of the most satisfying moments in my business.
What was the trick that you may find that this is something that would lead to a greater level of success or something that would enhance people's?
Yeah, so see, as I said earlier, if you are able to identify your fire and work on the area of your fire, that would be one thing which will make people successful. But second thing which all business owners and even professionals should understand is that you will be successful only if you are able to make your customer successful or your end stakeholder successful, for which you have to innovate constantly. So as a business owner or as a professional, always wear that hat where you're asking yourself a question daily: is whatever I'm doing today good enough, and is it actually adding value to my customers? If no, then innovate. If yes, continue doing that.
Okay. In that case, do you believe in scheduling or making some kind of schedules on day-to-day basis so that you could enhance yourself? Like, as if even I am someone who is interested in doing business and these kinds of things, so it's just a kind of a curiosity. Is do that things work actually?
Scheduling, you mean to say
Yeah,
scheduling?
yeah, scheduling.
See, whatever you want to get done, it has to be there in your schedule. So my tips for effectiveness to people and what I do on a daily day-to-day basis is I belong to the 5 a.m. club. I wake up very early in the morning because the early morning hours are the times which are your hour of power, and they actually set the mood for your entire day. So if you want to be really productive, one is get into a habit of waking up early so that you have more day. Then also make your schedules. I use a planner on my mobile. It's a very good planner which helps me calendarize everything which needs to get done. And as I said, whatever you need to get done, it has to be there in your schedule. And most importantly, try to avoid leakages of time, because habitually a lot of time we do not become mindful of small leakages of time which ultimately lead to a lot of time wastage. So these are 3 4 things which I do to stay on schedule and on top of my work.
Okay. In that case, do you believe these leakages that you mentioned in the answers like before, this could be the social media handles that people use nowadays? Are they making people diverse from their actual goal that they have?
See, social media has both pros and cons. It's a double-edged sword. If you are utilizing it effectively to upgrade yourself and your knowledge, then it is really good. But if you are just wasting time, or you are, see, I would say there are information which is good to know and information which is interesting to know. Most of the people spend time on interesting to know things rather than good to know things. If you make a strategy that you will focus only on things which are good for your business and profession and focus only on those, then you will be able to use social media rather than social media using you.
Okay. Now, what kind of these activities would be that you term that it would help or motivate other entrepreneurs for their businesses?
Right. So, see, a lot of things. I would say my favorites are number one, reading a lot, because when you read a lot, you really are on top of your game. You are more aware. You have new ideas. Your brain works differently and it's sharper. So, reading is one of the things which everybody should do, including entrepreneurs. These days, there is a lot of motivational seminars or business breakthrough seminars. Even my organization, we do a lot of business breakthrough seminars. So proactively, I would say every business owner and every team, they should schedule time in their weeks, and once a week, everybody in your team should sit with you and you should go through these seminars and workshops so that you come up with new ideas. You are in control of the direction of your business, and you can really innovate and add value not just to yourself but to your business and your customers also. So these are a couple of things which I would say. At the same time, yes, because times are such today, you have to constantly question the processes and optimize your processes so that costs are reduced and efficiencies increased.
In the prior question, I again have a question. That all there is a famous quote: "All day work and no play makes Jack a dull boy." Yes. So in that case, all the entrepreneur who might be viewing this show would be generally youth or the teenagers right now, and they are actually more engaged towards the games and etc. So what's your thought about it? Do they really help at times?
See, as I said, it depends upon what kind of activities you're choosing for recreation. Recreation is good, but just like Dr. Stephen Covey says, sharpening your saw is important. But if you just spend most of your time on recreation, then it's not really healthy. So, for example, you can watch 10 minutes of TV, which is entertaining for you. But if you spend an hour watching Netflix and sitting on the couch and just eating, then it really doesn't serve you. In fact, it is detrimental to your health and to your business also. So you need to have a balance. You can, I call it the four quadrants. You should do something for your mind, for your body, for your heart, and for your soul, and pick up activities which are kind of revitalizing your all four aspects. So, for example, physically, everybody should have 30 minutes at least of exercising or yoga or meditation or stretching kind of a thing in their schedule so that they're physically fit, and that can be counted as recreation. Mentally and emotionally, if you want to be fit, you have to spend time, quality time with people in your network, and especially people in your family who can really rekindle your spirit and who can really push you or motivate you towards your goals. Mentally, mindfulness is one technique which is very important. Meditation itself, and today you have positive self affirmations and other things. So, if you balance all these activities, you can pick up these and design your schedule and have these as recreation rather than just mindless watching of TV or forwarding news or spending time on WhatsApp. That's the essential difference.
As you mentioned earlier, that reading helps a lot. So
Yes.
in that case, which are at the position you are here right now?
Books, I read a lot of books. I have approximately 1,000 books of my own in my house, but two books I would say have really inspired me, especially my business. Jim Collins books, Built to Last and Good to Great. They are very good books, a must for every entrepreneur, because they give you time tested formulas of organizations who have really been in the top uh, organizations in the world over a period of time.
Must be some kind of inspiration that you might have gathered from someone. What kind of inspiration was that? Like, what was your greatest inspiration?
A lot of inspirations. You have a lot of insightful moments or inspiration moments on a day-to-day basis. But few people who have really inspired me and my work, I would say number one is Richard Branson. The way he takes risks, nobody else can take risks in that fashion. And for a business owner, risk-taking ability is the key to your success. So Richard Branson is one. At the same time, I really ethics and values into their system. And my company also, we value ethics, integrity a lot. So they are again my inspiration.
What is your work schedule? Like, when are you writing, rewriting, etc.?
Well, my work schedule is pretty, I would say, optimized. As I said, I wake up early in the morning. So the morning hours, the hour of power, or in fact, 2 hours in the morning, are the time which I spend on physical activity, meditation, and writing. And writing is a creative process, so you never know when you get ideas. So during the day, if I get those ideas, I just note it down, and then late in the night, just before retiring to bed, that is the time when again I write down whatever it is. It may be my book, it may be my article or a course I'm creating. So all that is done in these two time windows, and in between, wherever I get the idea, I jot it down.
In that case, can you share one of your writings? It may be small or something that would encourage us.
Well, I think I would share with you the recent incidents. I converted this into a write up also, and I have a video also on my YouTube channel. When I met this lady, she really inspired me a lot. Uh, Her name is Deepa Malik. I'm sure you would have heard about Deepa Malik. She's the first Indian woman to be a Paralympic gold medalist. And I happened to meet her, and despite her physical disability, she has achieved tremendous amount of stuff in her life. She's a true inspiration for people. Despite being on the wheelchair, she's active. She has rigorous exercise routines. She's an achiever in all the fields. She's won various medals in sports and represented India. She's also working with the government these days for upliftment of women. She's also running an NGO of her own. And all this happened despite being on a wheelchair. So I asked Dr. Deepa, what is the secret of your success and how come you have achieved so much? You know what she said? She said she's been able to do all this because she's soul happy. So I asked her, how can the viewers or my readers be soul happy? So she shared two, three tips. Number one, she said you have to find your purpose in life. What is it that really pushes you, motivates you to be beyond your circumstances? Find your ikigai or your purpose in life and then wholeheartedly jump into that. Number two, she said that she's been given a body, but she refuses to identify with the body. She identifies that she's a soul, she's a spiritual energy, and that realization itself pushes her. And number three, she said she does not care about what others have to say. It's just whatever is going on in your mind will actually control your destiny. So if you can just balance these three things, you will be really successful. And when I asked her, Dr. Deepa, you are on a wheelchair and you've achieved so much. What is it that other people can do? It's just excuses which people have, and they hide behind excuses. You know what her answer was? She said, ईश्वर पर अगर भरोसा है तो वो पाओगे जो तुम्हारी किस्मत में लिखा है, लेकिन खुद पर अगर भरोसा है तो ईश्वर भी वो लिखेगा जो तुम चाहोगे. And
Wow.
that was an inspiration.
So in that case, there are certain circumstances when you know, like, this is the thing you want, this is the thing you are good at, but still there is some hesitation that people do have, like they belong to some other career backgrounds, but they like some other things. So in that case, what should be actually done? Because profession is a different thing and pursuing our passion is a lot more different thing, I guess. So what's your opinion about passion and profession?
See, my greatest advice to people is that you have just one life. You can either live the entire life thinking that one day you will go and do something which you want to do, and that one day will never to balance it. You have to have a day job where you which can take care of your day-to-day your earnings and your family livelihood. But at the same time, if you have a passion, so you need to have a clear strategy and stretch beyond your routine 9 to 5 hours and invest in that area. And I tell people that your someday starts today. There's no use of having a bucket list and you'll never be able to visit that bucket list. So whatever you are passionate about, just go ahead and have a strategy to do it. Because without that, it will be regret. At the end of your life, when you're 80, 85, you'll be sitting in the rocking chair and thinking, oh, what if I would have done this? If only I would have taken these steps. And then that regret will not really be useful. So remember, people do not take action because they are afraid. They are fearful that if I will fail, what will happen? If I will not make this happen, then what will other people say? Remember, failure is temporary, but regret is permanent. So you can either live with regret or you can just go ahead in the direction of your dreams. And today you get so much inspiration. You can meet people and mentors. You can actually model people who have been successful. And today there's no dearth. The whole world is connected through the internet. You can reach out to anybody and get inspired to run in the direction of your dreams.
What was your work schedule like when you write a book? How do you do it?
Well, writing a book is a creative process, as I said. So you never know when the ideas come, but I definitely schedule time twice a day, morning and evening. And when you are sitting writing a book, the first thing you need to do is bring an outline. So you need to have a broader structure that this is what my book is all about. And then subheadings or subtopics, that's how you organize your book. And whenever, as I said, it's a creative process. Whenever the ideas keep flowing, just keep jotting them down and then refine them, and your final product is ready.
There are certain times, where you get ideas. Like for me, if you ask me, when it is dark, I get so many thoughts and everything. So I usually jot it down. That's how I start writing or jotting down my words in that way. So there must be something that that might be inspiring, or there is one particular time or thing that helps you to know think a lot about the things that are going on, whether it may be the revolution, whether it may be the COVID-19 that is going on, anything.
Yeah, so see, creative processes, as I said, it is something which creativity can happen to you anytime. But yes, what I have observed is every morning after meditation is the time when I get the most. So immediately after meditation is when I start writing in the morning, and that's the time where maximum flow of ideas is there. Plus, whenever you see something, you read something, you meet some people. At that time, the ideas come in, and after that meeting or after seeing that particular thing, I jot it down either in my diary or on my mobile because you have the notes in the mobile, and later I compile it into the main body of the work I'm doing.
Okay. Coming back to the business, what is the thing that would tell our newer generations that would help them to enhance, or what is the specific advice that you would like to give to the other business owners in the tough times?
Yeah, see, currently times are very tough, and we all know many businesses are impacted. Many businesses would be wiped off. I know that, and we all know this reality. So this is a time right now for businessmen to be, business owners to be more centered. First thing which everybody should do is remember this is just a tough time. It will not last, but tough people do last. So look at it from a perspective that every dark cloud has a silver lining. You as a business owner are the leader, leader of your family, leader of your teams. So whatever happens, do not keep your spirits down because everybody else around you, your teams, your families, everybody is looking up to you. So keep your spirits upbeat. It's a temporary phase, it will go away. Number two, this is the right time to connect with your customers, to connect with your teams, and to connect with your family. Have a lot of conversations because this is a time when people need to know that you are there for them. And it's those bonds which you make in this time which will actually help you enhance your business further. Number three, this is a time when you need to think who are there in your network with whom you can collaborate and create a new platform or a new offering. So I'll give you an example. One of my clients, he was into this business of taxi services, but because of the lockdown, everything kind of came to standstill. So he collaborated with somebody in his network who was doing delivery of all the groceries. So he's using his taxis now for delivery of groceries rather than just sitting there and thinking that my business is gone. He's still earning money.
Yes.
Number four, you need to understand what is it that you can offer differently now at this time. So, for example, I have two more clients. One is a photographer, other is a beautician or a makeup artist. Both of them are now offering online classes on teaching people photography and makeup. So, if your actual physical business is not working, you have to just think and imagine what else you can do. So, you're limited just by your imagination. And fifth and most important, I would say, or in fact, two more points. One is this is the time to invest in your social media strategy. This is the right time to be in front of customers. If you do not have a social media strategy, please go ahead and have one. If you already have, pump in more money into your social media so that you're present and you're the first recall value in people's mind. And lastly, this is a time to optimize your processes, to see what needs to be done away with, what are the things which are wasteful and can be eliminated, and what is it that you need to start again. So if you do these, not just today, any tough time will be just gone very easily, and you can be on top of your game.
You are a successful businessman as well as a writer, a phenomenal writer, I must say. So, in that case, when did you come across the thought, yes, I want to be in business as well as I want to write? I want to write to change the mindset of the people.
Right. See, it's not that it's an idea. Writing was always a passion for me, and business has also been equally my passion. But this is what I teach people in my workshops also. I have a workshop where I teach people how to become authors, and I coach them through the process. So I tell everybody that whoever you are, whichever profession you're from, you should have a book, because if you have a book, that becomes your visiting card that shows you as an authority in your field. So it's a must for any business owner or a professional to have their own book so that they are established as an authority. So in my case, it's both. It was my passion and requirement of my business. That's why I became author. And now during the lockdown, I've completed two more manuscripts, which in a few months' time will be available for the readers as well, along with my YouTube channel I'm already working on.
Anything specific that you would like to share, like that is like currently you are working on, like the current project you are working on, and how impactful that would have on our society or something. It could be
Right.
any of your writings or business work also.
Yeah, so as I said, I am into the business of human empowerment. My work directly impacts people and society because I teach people life skills, I teach people coaching, I teach people NLP, I teach people how to make their businesses and life more successful. At the same time, I also teach people how to author books. So through my work, definitely I'm doing that. But I'm also associated with a lot of NGOs. I'm associated with a lot of organizations which are serving humanity. So I volunteer both time and money, and definitely whatever other resources are required, I volunteer there. Those are my ways of contributing to the society, especially at this time.
Um, there is one thing that I still have an issue with. That is, suppose if I am starting my business, like I'm thinking for starting my own business, but there are various things that comes in our, like there are various hurdles, I must say, right? Like making registerizing our companies, making patents over some or the other works, then marketing it, like knowing, letting people know about it. So is there anything specific that we could uh, keep these hurdles a little bit more easier for people, like how we could do that?
So if I understand your question is you're saying all these hundreds of things which a business require, how can we make it easier? Is that the
Yeah.
question? Okay.
Yes.
So the simple thing, as I said earlier, is the fire and the wax formula. You need to understand what are the things which you enjoy doing and you are strong at, and for the things which you do not enjoy, hire a team. A business will be successful only if you have a right team. So look at what things you as a business owner needs to handle, which will add a lot of value to your business, and then have team members who will handle separate specific things. You should have people for sales and marketing, you should have people for operations, you should have people for compliances and legal and regulatory work, or you can always outsource it to a consultant. So you need to have a right team. It's only when you have the right team will you be able to.
Is there something which would audition you towards like success easily and more fast, as this generation is something where we want
I
everything easily
no,
and
it's just
fast. Okay. What I'm trying to say is there something that would lead or audition ourselves to the success more easily and fast, like?
Yeah, so if you work on your passion, I think that is something which will really be important, because anybody who's working on their passion, definitely there's no procrastination when you are working on your passion. If you enjoy doing a thing, that time you will not postpone it to tomorrow, and you will be successful only when you're working in that area of your passion. So for everybody, I know we all want instant gratification, we want instant results, but anything worth having is worth waiting for. You cannot climb Mount Everest in a day's time. It's a process, and the process itself teaches you a lot of things. So tomorrow, if you want to be successful in your business, it's not the end result that okay, when my turnover will be XYZ, then I'll be successful. No, it's a daily journey. It's a daily process. Every day you learn. Every day you become a better human being. But you will be successful, and your speed will depend whether you are actually working on your passion or not. So just find your passion and take action in the direction of your passion.
There are certain times when you work on your passion, like I am working on it, I'm working on it, but still there is the end that we want, it never comes, and it leads to dejection and everything. And these are the points at certain like everyone has these points in their life, but due to these points some people, leave it, like leave their passion for it. Is it, what is your thought about it? For example, like Thomas Alva Edison,
Right.
he did it and he still worked on it, and he got the success, but still some people let let it go.
So, see, I would say you use the right example. I was about to give you the same example, Thomas Alva Edison. When Thomas Alva Edison was making the electric bulb, his challenge was he wanted a element of the bulb through which the electricity can pass in that vacuum, and that does not get consumed or burnt. So he tried 1,000 different uh, elements or different compounds to make that bulb. Somebody asked Edison, Hey Edison, you failed at making bulb 1,000 times. You know what Edison said? Edison said, I did not fail at making the bulb 1,000 times. I know 1,000 material which cannot be used for making the bulb. So it's just about your attitude. If you take, see, failure, rejection is a normal part of the process. If you're born on this planet and you're trying to do something, you will have failure, you will have rejection. But you need to constantly remind yourself that something else, which is your end goal, is much more important than your failure or rejection. Failure and rejection is temporary. If you quit, that regret will be permanent for you. Always keep, I tell people, and I do this, I always have a bulb in front of me which keeps me reminding of Thomas Edison. And I wear the Thomas Edison's hat, which means anything I'm working on, if I were Thomas Edison, will I give up? Answer is no. So I just keep that thing in mind and I keep on keeping on in the direction of my dreams. And that's what I tell people also to do. Always keep a light bulb or Thomas Edison's picture in front of you, so that when you're about to quit, just look at it and smile and go ahead.
What is your thing that you like? Is it hard work that you believe in, or the smart work?
See, there is nothing called hard work or smart work. You need to get results. And my expertise is getting people to results. That's the result coaching which I do. The result matters. Some things require you to be smarter, some things require you to work harder, and some things require you to think out of the box. So it's a combination of smart work, hard work, thinking out of the box. But the only thing is you need to just focus on the results and go do it.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. It was a phenomenal advice for all the business people who are waiting for your these small points that are to be kept in mind while starting a business, a startup, or anything. And even if people are planning to write their books, they surely need to see this interview so they could get ideas at what field they should stop and what should be done to encourage themselves. Thank you, Gaurav. It was nice to have you over here.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.
Thank you. And with this, I would also like to thank Planotech Media House for providing us such a platform where we could share all the other knowledge and skills for all the businessmen and the writers that we have in this era. Thank you.